Today in the woodyard, I got a pile of wood that needs to be stacked. Time to get stacking. Here we go. Today is a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular spring day. Finally, it quit raining. It rained for 3 days and the sun is out, birds are singing, I'm happy. It's gonna be like 60 degrees today. Fabulous. Right now it's probably like, I don't know, low 50s, but it's supposed to warm up to around 60, so that's gonna be nice. Now, what I'm working on is that I have this area right here that I had a bunch of debris in that I moved pallets, and I got stuff to clean up. I've got dirt to move right there. I've got stuff that needs to be dumped in back, but because it rained, all this is kind of muddy and soft, and I don't really want to run the tractor across this and then run it back into my muddy, soupy area way in the back and dump it and then bring it back and be hauling mud back and forth. So I'm gonna let it dry up for a couple days because it's supposed to be nice for like over a week now. There's no chance of rain, or supposedly no chance of rain for like a week. And this area right here where all this oak is, I want to have the wood stacked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start back here on this back side where I've got this pallet that I put in here before I even split the wood. I'm going to start stacking wood right here and then put another pallet series right here and go this way. I also have the stump eventually right here that I need to get out, and all this debris needs to be moved. But what I can do is I can start stacking right here, work my way that direction, put another pallet here, work my way that direction, and kind of get some of this stuff cleared up, because I want to start processing wood as soon as I can. But I really need to get this stuff out of the way so that I have a place to put wood or in the processor. So today is stacking time. So here we go, stacking happening. So I just crawled back in here and I'm going to start stacking right here and just work my way that direction. And I only have about 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours, and I have to go do a photography job today. I have to go photograph some high school sports stuff. So I'm going to stack as much as I can in a couple hours, and that's all I'm going to get done today, but it's progress. And I would love to get this all stacked in the next couple days so that I can start running the processor, the Easton-made 22MB. Kind of looking forward to getting it running. I got some help coming this weekend, hopefully. A couple guys want to come and see it run and said they'd help out, so we'll see what happens. That is the plan anyway, is to get that thing cranking wood out as fast as I can, because I've got a lot of wood that is in a log form that needs to get cut and split so they can start drying, because I'm going to need a lot more wood ready for next fall than I actually have right now. Right now I've only got about half of what I need, so I really got to get going on it. And being that it's springtime, and what I have right now is a bunch of cherry, a bunch of ash, a bunch of maple, some elm, some ironwood and stuff like that. That's basically what I have left to go. So it's wood that will dry fairly fast, which is nice. All those species of wood dry very fast once they're split, and they're actually drying right now in the log form. They're just sitting there in the sun and they're on stringers, so even though they're in log form, they're drying, but it would take 2-3 years for them to dry enough that I could just split it and sell them. So it's got to get split, it's got to get cut, split, and then stacked in cord, so I know how much I have and so I know what I got to sell. So we're speeding things up. So I was stacking away and thought of something I thought I could talk about. And you can see these piles over here. This is all cherry, and that's all stacked 4 feet high. There's 2 full cords in each of these rows here. And over here, because I had limited space and I had so much wood, I went higher. I went like 6 feet high. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to get more wood in a smaller space. And by doing that, what I'm going to do is at 8 foot, I will have, each one of these rows will have a half of a full cord. So I'm going 6 feet high, 8 feet long. And if you have 2 of those, it's full cord. So I still measured, but more than likely what I'm going to be doing is when I take these, I'm just going to throw them right into the trailer, and it'll be like a full cord amount, which is basically a trailer full thrown in loose. And so that's kind of my plan anyway. And I always need some stacks like that I can just take from and take wood no matter what quantity is there. Now, I did have a little leaning problem right here. You probably can't see it in the camera. I got a little bit of a lean going out this way. So what I did is I took a stick, shoved it in there, and put wood on top of it. And now both piles are rock solid. They don't move at all. So it's just a little something you can do, just put a brace piece between your piles. And I only want enough room so I can walk through sideways. So it's not real wide, it's only about 1 foot wide, and I can squeeze through any of these rows if I want to. See over here, you can see this one. I can squeeze through there, no problem. So basically just enough room so I can get through, so the wind can flow through, so the sun can hit a little bit, and it can start drying. Now, some of this wood that was on the ground is extremely wet. So you can see the back side here, and here's the top of the pallet right here, and then I crisscrossed going up, so it's nice and solid that way. Now, some of this stuff that is on the ground, like I said, is extremely wet, and if I dig down the bottom here, you can see how wet this stuff is. It's red oak, and I can get right down in here. I can see this stuff. It's not, I mean, it's more wet now than probably when I split it. See how wet that is, and compare that to a piece that's been up in the sun. And this stuff is already starting to crack. I can see cracks all the way through. There's cracks on the ends, whereas this I think got bigger and just got tighter because it just soaked up more water. So this is already starting to dry. I'd like to split this in half and just see. I'm guessing you might have about a ½ inch all the way around on the edges and on the ends that would be dry, and this has none at all, and this one's on the bottom. And that's why with red oak especially, you got to get it off the ground. It does not dry on the ground at all. So the bottom, like 2 feet from about here down, is wet, and there's a little bit of mold I found on a few pieces. See if I can find some in here. Nah, not really there, but there was a few pieces that were a little bit fuzzy on the inside. Oh, here's some down here. Right here, you can see a little bit of mold starting right here. See a little bit of mold starting right there, but it's just a little bit, and that's why I got to get the red oak especially off the ground, because it will mold underneath, and it'll just keep molding and molding and stay wet, because red oak wicks moisture tremendously, tremendously from the ground up. So that's why you got to get it off the ground. And then we have clay soil here, so it's not like this is on rock and it's not on sand where it drains really well. Clay soil holds moisture so much that the wood itself is just basically on the clay. When it rains or any moisture that's in the ground just gets sucked right up through the wood, so it just does not dry very well. So for those of you that think I shouldn't touch the wood so much, oak is one of those kinds of woods that does require a little extra work, unless you're on like big rock, big gravel, where it drains really good and there's no contact with the ground. But I don't have that here yet, but that is my plan eventually, is to have gravel on everything, which is why I'm moving this pile, because I want to put gravel underneath as much of this. So every time I sell a row or two like this next fall, when this is gone and I have open space, I'm going to have on hand either a load of gravel that I can just bring some in, put it in, finish it off. So I'll just kind of keep improving the area and growing the gravel area more and more as I go. So I stacked for about, I don't know, 2.5 hours so far, and I'm about halfway done looking at this. I'm going to walk around over here and see how much I have left. Yeah, I probably did about half. It's about half, I think, if I was just to guess. Maybe a little less than half that I stacked. I don't know how much there is. If I was to guess, I might have stacked 2 2.5 full cords possibly, because of how high I went and how long it is. And as the cleanup gets easier, as I get more space here, like you can see where this is opening up, I can walk around a little better. I'm gonna rake this stuff out of here. A lot of this is bark and some chunks I have to get rid of, some odd sized pieces. So I get this all cleaned up. I put down a couple more pallets and then I'll be able to just keep continuing right out to the end here and finish this. So that's probably gonna happen tomorrow because I'm out of time for today. So if you like what you saw today, you like videos with firewood, I have about 700 videos on my channel for you to watch. You can go there anytime and watch them. I've been doing this about, I don't know, a year and a half, not quite 2 years yet. And I have a lot of videos. And if that's not enough, I have a new one every morning for you right away in the morning. First thing, I think it's 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, the videos pop up. So you can watch those, which you should do because this is the place to be. So between now and tomorrow, when you watch the videos again, get outside, get cutting. Good night, Irene.